you ready to face what is arguably one of the more efficient offensive teams in the country in Purdue, a team that obviously is led by a guy who was preseason player of the year in Carson Edwards, and a guy who had a little success against us last year. So it's it was a tough weekend. We got outplayed. Penn State was the aggressor. They played harder than we did. It was a game that they definitely deserved to win. They're a top 5 team, in my opinion, talent-wise. Their talent is really good, and we got hurt in the front court a little bit, and we've got to do a better job of being dialed in and ready to go. But we've got an outstanding team. Matt's done an unbelievable job this year with that team. They shoot it exceptionally well. They're one of the top teams in the country in percentage of points from the 3. They're one of the lowest in terms of points from the 2. That being said, we have to obviously do a good job of chasing them around and trying to take them out of some of the stuff they want to do.
Trent mentioned he thought there was maybe a lack of lack of spirit in practice. Have you seen that too over the last couple of days?
I thought our second team today was unbelievable. They just kicked the dog out of the first team. It wasn't even funny. So I love seeing that. That's a huge sign of growth. If he may see more than I do to it, I thought we were pretty good today. We're a team that has to play extremely hard. We don't have a tremendously high margin of error, and when we get outplayed in the effort category, that's something we've got to correct, and that was the case Saturday.
Georgie had a rough time against Watkins on Saturdays, and with Harms tomorrow night. Does that pose an even bigger problem since Harms can actually take his game outside as well?
I don't think so. I mean, I thought, Watkins was a defending defensive player of the year. He was pretty motivated and played exceptionally well. I thought Georgie got great looks early. And again, we forget about him sometimes, and we've got to continue to put him in different spots. Purdue's a team that doesn't rely just on Harms defensively. They do a lot of doubling the post. They have the Williams kid who's completely different than Harms. It's 280 pounds. With that combination, they double a lot more. But I didn't think Georgie was. I thought he had a couple that went in and out. I thought he was really good early, and then we went away from him.
Look at some of the wins and losses you've had recently. Other games where matchups helped you, just matchups were in your favor, and others where they weren't, regardless of where the teams stack up record-wise and all that.
Yeah, that's the game. That's what this thing's all about is matchups, and we knew coming into the Penn State game that we had some challenges at the 4 with Stevens, and he was playing great. He's athletic, he's strong, he's physical. We're undersized there, and we've been able to counterbalance some of that with shooting and so on and so forth. But again, at night we didn't shoot the ball particularly well. All that credit goes to Penn State, and that's the chess match of the game is advantage, disadvantage, and mismatches, and how you can exploit them.
Do you like some of the matchups you have this time around against Purdue versus last year?
Oh, I loved our matchups last year. I thought they were really good. I love the fact that we could drag some of their bigs out on the floor. I like them this year. This is a different Purdue team that is, albeit experienced. They've had different guys slide into their roles. Matthias was an unbelievable shooter, one of the top shooters in the country. Klein stepped into that role. They're doing it with 2 guys now, and Harms and Williams have kind of taken over. For the big boy inside, and then Carson's Carson. So, they've slid Nogel. He's not a shooter, but they've slid him into the point guard role, and he's been extremely effective in doing what he does. He's an MVP in his role. He's an unbelievable offensive rebounder. Eifert is a guy who goes every single time to the glass. He's one of the most efficient players. I think he's the number 2 ranked player in the country in efficiency. So this is a team that's adapted very, very well to their roles, and it's made them effective.
What's the challenge of Mackey? How do you get your guys ready for it?
Like any other one. He's got great venues, great crowds. They've been very, very good at home. We cranked the music again today, try to create as much difficulty as we can for our guys to communicate and stress the importance of it. And then we've got to have great poise.
You coached in that building before?
I have. Yeah, it's loud. It's a good building.
Was that your high school record collection we were hearing?
Well, that was part of them. Yeah, it's pretty good. They may not like it, but I do.
Mm-hmm.
Trent and Io maybe haven't been at their peak offensively the last 2 games. I know it's not all about one end of the floor, but what are you seeing with the shots they're getting or the opportunities they have on offense?
Well, I thought Trent rushed some things the other night. And Io picks up a couple fouls, and I think Trent felt like he had to burden some load, and he took some really quick shots that were really hard shots. And the one thing that we're trying to continue to do is get the ball to Georgie, understand that he's a pretty viable option. And then I thought we got good looks. I'm not arguing the looks. I can't control whether they go in or not, but I liked our looks. I thought we had an opportunity to spray a few out to the perimeter and not necessarily shoot them over contested hands, but we know Trent's a hard shot maker, and he's going to take some hard shots, and on Saturday they didn't go in.
When you look back at what Carson did last year, what was he able to do to find some success, and how do you slow that this time around?
We made everything. I mean, we picked him up just across the half-court line, and we flat hedged a ball screen about 2 steps inside of it. He jumped up with the shot clock run down, and it's probably a 29, 30-footer. He got to the rim, and he's a gifted offensive player. He's one of the more gifted ones he's got. He's such speed. Does a great job of separating. We've got to make his touches hard. Again, I always say the best way to defend a really good player, a really good scorer, is not let him catch it. And he got to the rim. He's very good in ball screens. He loves to play in that. They put him in a lot of them in open space. So he's a good player. He's going to make some baskets, and we've just got to make sure that we challenge everything from the catch to the shot.
Last year you didn't have Dre to defend him. I assume that's going to make a difference for him, for Carson.
I don't know if anybody's made a really big difference that's guarded him in the league. I think it's a combination of you got to have a lot of bodies to run at him. He does a great job of. He's probably the elite guard in the country in terms of separation off baseline screens. He's very, very good. They run a lot of dribble handoffs. Puts emphasis on 2 or 3 guys having to help in those situations. So. He's good. He's a guy that has the ability to make shots and really get it going, and we need to make sure that, like I said, they're all challenged.
Is there a balance to trying to stop him but not losing focus on the rest?
Oh, I'm believing we're not losing focus on the rest. I think Klein's extremely dangerous. Eifert's one of the most efficient players in the country, and then you start to. Just focusing on those guys, and Williams can get you for 10 or 12 pretty easy. And then, Nogel's just a guy that finds ways to win. He's an absolute winner. And, he's on the offensive glass. He makes every play. So, we know who Carson is, but we're not forgetting the other guys either.
Trent said this team's energy sometimes starts with Georgie. What do you think of that?
I think it's probably pretty true. I think Georgie's established the fact that he's a kid that brings it every day. His emotion is very much in play with all of our guys. He gets us going. He's a talker. He's a great communicator, and all those things are really, really positive. And for a 18, 19-year-old freshman to have that kind of energy and be that consistent every day, pretty excited about that.
You guys have done pretty well against some of those league's top guards this year. Is there a tape, a certain game that you can kind of maybe draw similarities to that you've been showing these guys and talking to them in preparation of Edwards?
Not really. I mean, you know, he's so athletic. You just don't. We haven't seen that. You know, and a guy that's he's going to get his clips up. I mean, he's going to shoot 25 balls, and a lot of times we don't see a guy shooting that many attempts and having the freedom to do that. But you know, it's about us doing what we do. It's about us handling our principles, and then as we've tried to do most other guards, we've got to make things very, very challenging for them.
Did his performance at Indiana expose any weaknesses?
It's just an off night. He had a night that Trent had the other night. You know, even really good players, the ball doesn't always go in, and so I don't make too much out of that one.
Thanks, Brad.
Thanks, guys.
Brad.
Good luck.
Thank you.